That a rule.
Don't say the word.
Every time a 7 is rolled. This.
Know your market, know your limitations.
Relationship building and networking. That to me was the biggest thing to get in. I mean, we knew each other, but we didn't know each other to do business with.
Hey guys, I'm Heather Voll with VollSquared and Remax. I'm a dual licensed agent. I'm licensed in North Dakota and Arizona. In North Dakota, I'm part of Remax Bach and Realty. In Arizona, I am part of Remax Excalibur. So Remax all the way. And this is Ryan.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Ryan's the other half of VollSquared, you know, because we're cheeky. There's two of us, VollSquared. And we're accompanied by Greg Skippy Cottrell with Lone Depot today. Himself is also licensed in several different states. He's going to tell you all about that.
Yeah, I've got North Dakota, Arizona, Florida, Illinois, Montana, Minnesota, South Dakota, and I'll be adding Pennsylvania here pretty shortly.
It's very exciting. So you've got multiple options.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic. So we love to play this game, Catan. It's one of our favorite things. We always get together. We played this game numerous times. There may be a little competition that goes on between these.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. And we always find ourselves with real estate discussion since we are all in the real estate industry. So we figured what better way than to bring in a nice little, video of questions over Catan.
There we go.
So as we play this game, we're going to walk through and ask you some, or we're going to answer some real estate questions and some lending questions.
We sat down, put a couple questions together that I thought were pretty general to what lending would be, real estate would be, and then you guys worked on a few lending questions. So we kind of wrote those together and see what we can come up with and help answer some of your questions.
So as we work our way through the board and try to find a winner, we're going to answer some interesting questions for you guys. What do you got?
Oh, we're kind of playing a modified version of Catan for you Catan connoisseurs out there. When you play 16 games straight in a blizzard, you start changing things. You're going to notice we already have a bunch of cards laid out. These are holdovers from the last game, so we play whatever you have. No matter when the game's over, you carry them over.
Little bit of a new house rule. We wanted to add a little twist to it, so I thought, why give up everything that you've worked so hard for in the last game? Let's build into the next one.
But if that 7 comes in the first round, it's always a heartbreaker.
And might I add, I am the winner of the last game we played.
With being the winner, it's your turn to go first.
Awesome. Okay, let's
See
roll.
who rolls.
6.
6.
Okay.
Let's see what we got. Yep, and I already knocking tiles all over it.
Oh,
ooh, a 9.
Come on, 11. 3.
3.
I'll go
Okay,
first.
Ryan will start
All right.
first.
Let's see what we got. Maybe while I'm trying to figure something out, you guys fire off the first question.
I can go with that. So,
And we just lost this.
what 3 things set you apart from other agents?
Okay, so we're going to realtor question first.
Yeah.
While Ryan sets up, I'm going to answer this. It's kind of a tough one. Everybody always asks you, like, what's different? What sets you apart from other agents? Like, what makes you more unique? And I actually hate this question. I really feel like, especially in our industry, we have so many agents that are just absolutely wonderful at their job. I can't tell you how many times I get on a transaction where the agent on the other side is somebody that I enjoy conversation with, maybe somebody I learned from a little bit. So I hate what makes me better than an agent, or sets me aside from other agents. So I'm going to tell you what makes me proud to be an agent. 3 things that I'm super proud of that I think that I do fantastic, or that VollSquared does fantastic, is we have professional videography, photography, and drone work in-house. So every listing is going to get a professional video. Could be up to 2 to 3 minutes long. It has special editing. It gives you a tour of the home. I go over some key talking points. We feel it really helps give a very good eyes on social media. So maybe you didn't get to see the house in person, or you've been looking for just the right house. You get to see a little, pop up of what that house looks like. It helps a lot when maybe one buyer's in a different market. So, if you're traveling and you can't get to it, maybe the wife comes in and takes a look at the home, and then we send the husband the video video, and he's like, yes, that's the home I want, and they feel confident making their
You
decision.
mean after she decides? that
Yep,
she
after
wants
she decides. And then it also gives that seller an advantage because we opened up their market of who got to see the home, so we know we're going to get them the best price for them. And then communication. I am 100% an open book. I'm very good at communicating. I feel like there isn't something that I'm afraid to tackle. Those tough conversations, the straightforward conversations, you know, whether it's with my clients, whether it's with other agents, whether it's with my own teammate, Ryan, the lender on the other side, you know, very straightforward of how a transaction needs to be. Everything is transparent. It's right up front. And then networking. I can't tell you how important networking is in this industry. There's been many times where I've developed relationships with other agents, especially in my own office, where I'll be telling them, oh my gosh, I've got this client. We're specifically looking for this type of home. We've had such a hard time finding it. Nothing's coming on the market, and I just feel so bad. They're getting so discouraged. And that agent, because of our networking and relationship, will say, oh, I have one coming up. Why don't we get them in? And then I put that house under contract, which I think is, you know, an amazing asset to have. That we kind of strive to stay on top of. So those are my three things.
Before people think this is an infomercial or something, if it was your turn, what would you do?
On the board? Let's see what you guys have left me. Okay. So I'm going through that.
Let's see how well she knows real estate.
While I'm going through that, why don't we ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay, so lender question. Skippy, can you explain to us exactly how a lender gets paid?
Yeah, I can explain for myself how ours works. So Loan Depot, a loan officer will get paid based on the loan, right? So I always tell people it's the price of a home that basically matters, right? So when we go through and we pre-qualify and get somebody set up for their amount that they're able to shop with, I usually go over that same point with a client and tell them, it's important to know that when I recommend either a product, like a style of loan or a rate, the reason I'm recommending it is because it's in their best financial mindset going forward. Why to pick that? I get paid a percentage of the price of the home. So I don't get paid on interest rate. I don't get paid on a specific type of loan. So.
Okay. And you only get paid when that home loan closes.
Yep.
Awesome. Heather just thinks she's going to come in this 9, 10, 5 and just barge her way right in.
That's the best part about going last on picking those homes.
Yeah.
I hate going first. I absolutely hate it.
Skippy can't stand not going first.
Second or third is always the best one, but
let's see.
Take what you're given, I guess.
Well, you're gonna have to shake that.
We just lost the questions again.
Yeah, no problem.
No worries though.
So then let's see here. All right, I'm gonna lay where'd my road go? There it is.
Getting awfully close to Ryan over there, I see.
Hello, neighbor. Do you have the right covenants to move into this neighborhood?
Can you toss me a wood, a brick, and a sheep?
All right.
And then I'll take a sheep.
What do I want?
I'm sorry, a wood, brick, ore. So put that sheep back. But then I'll take a sheep, a hay, and a wood.
I'm so demanding. You know what? These floors have been hot the whole time we've been here.
Yeah, good luck with that.
All right.
Woo! It's always dangerous. Double up on the same number.
Yeah.
New dice.
What's this for? Oh, and another thing we have, if you can see it, is we also add a rule.
Don't say the word.
Every time a 7 is rolled, this port right here counts as a 2 for 1, no matter what. So you can trade 2 of anything. Every 7, it moves from port to port to port. So. Just kind of another cool wrinkle we added during this mid-April blizzard.
Which, by the way, we got 30 inches of snow in 4 days.
It's something nobody wants to talk about it.
No snow on the ground on Sunday.
All right.
30 inches by Friday.
All right. So let's go with this. So your next one. What are the 3 most important things you have learned in this industry?
Ooh. 3, and I think we should both do because I'm going to have a little different than you.
Oh, sure.
So 3 most important things. 1 for me, know your market. Know your market, know your limitations too, because
Real quick though, are we ready to roll off?
Oh, yeah.
Do it.
Are we ready to kick off?
Know your market, know your limitations.
9.
It's always
Can I
scary
have a
when he
sheet?
starts.
I have a habit for rolling 7s with these cards. This new rule of ours. Here you go.
Sheep are almost gone.
All right. Well, now that I have 20,000 cards, you guys are gonna see. I'm gonna open up to like a 5-point lead right here.
Right.
Okay, so for me, I'm gonna touch on these points really quick. The 3 things that I think are most important. Know your market. So, for instance, if I get a buyer down here or a seller down here that maybe is moving to Bismarck or Fargo, those are not necessarily my stronger markets. So it might be a really good opportunity for me to find another RE/MAX agent that I'll send that client to and work a referral out, because I'm not going to know how to negotiate exactly what's going on in their market. But I'm going to do a heck of a job selling their home here. So I got them taken care of. So like, know your market, know what's going on in it, know your price points, know your, percentage per sale. So, list to sale price, and just really understand that. Another important takeaway from this industry, networking. It's really huge. You need to make sure that you're constantly staying on top of everything. Like I said before, finding a home that was just about to hit the market for my client, I got them the best advantage because I was capable of doing that. And then the other one for me is relationships. The most important things I've learned is like genuine relationships in this business is really what's going to take you the farthest that you can go. Do you agree with that?
So I was so busy stacking up points, I didn't hear everything. I was kind of, this rule is cool, but it, like I told you, it enables you to jump out to it pretty quickly. But
so now that he's blocked me and you,
just
and
for
made
good
public
measure,
enemy
I'm
number
going to add a
one.
development card too.
Oh, yeah, why not?
Why don't you show the development card?
So you'll end up, you go from like 20 cards to 1. So
There you
he's
go.
safe now.
So to touch on that,
Ooh, all right.
kind of things I learned in this industry.
3 important things that from the industry.
3
that
important
hit.
things. I think the most important is communication. I think some of the lessons I learned early on and had some rough go-arounds was that communication is key, and when you don't have that, there's just a lot of uncertainty and a lot of, in real estate, there like assumptions are quick. Like people are quick to kind of just, I don't know, what would you say? Kind of just like jump to conclusions.
Or maybe just be
out
afraid to ask the questions and stuff like that. And so they might think they've got an understanding how the process is when really it's completely different. And if you're not opening those lines of communication, you didn't get that answer from the client.
Like it's better, and when you reach out, and I've noticed I've learned a lot from Heather, because and sometimes I was like, wow, you're really proactive with this. Like you don't have to do it this early. And she's like, well, I just kind of want to reach out and tell people what's going on right off the bat. And I kind of learned that with how proactive you were, people felt more at ease because you were answering their questions pretty much the second that they hatched in their head. It was almost like you hacked in their head or something.
It's my secret weapon.
Yeah.
So, anybody got a brick for wood?
I do not have a brick. Number 2, I would say, is creativity. I think real estate is an ever-changing business that evolves, and I think being creative and trying to figure out ways outside the box to kind of do business is an important thing to do. I think it can set you apart, not only to grow your business, but also your clients have fun with you.
What was that?
Just creativity would be my second.
Oh, sure. You got to keep the fun in real estate. It can get serious
kind of
really fast.
It's like any other business. It's always changing and evolving. And
woo, that's an 8, not a 7, an 8, but 1 away. Wow, an 8.
Right.
Okay, what's your third thing? So we've got communication, creativity.
Honestly, this is kind of a different one. I think this is really important too, is accountability, self-accountability. Like at the end of the day in real estate, yes, we have brokers, that may be like our quasi boss or whatever, but at the end of the day, I think when you're a real estate agent, you're only really if you don't show up, you don't do the work, you don't get paid, you don't eat. There's no one that's going to sit over your shoulder and make sure you're doing what you need to do. You got to be accountable to yourself, but you also have to be accountable to your clients.
For a sheet, for a brick.
We're trusted with a lot of important stuff, and I think a lot of times, not a lot of times, I think sometimes that gets glossed over a little bit, and we really got to realize that we are in charge of a lot of people's most important transaction in their life. So I think accountability is huge. I've learned in this I mean, going into real estate, I
Need
thought
a
it would be
hay for
important,
wood? I need a hay for wood.
No, okay.
but
Hay
that
for
would be
wood,
my 3 things.
please.
I do not have any hay.
No hay over there.
No hay.
Oh wow, these guys suck.
All right, let's see. Give me a 6. Well, it looks like we all survived the robber, huh?
Yeah.
Well, why would you jinx us?
Well, it's, like I said,
Can I have a sheep?
Maybe cards now.
Yeah.
You can.
We've learned really quick on this game that Heather can't count the dice, so it's a good thing I'm not your lender.
Does anybody have a wheat?
Nope,
No.
that's what I was just trying to get.
You may have a wood.
What do you got for trade?
I have a sheep.
Get out of here with that
I
sheep.
could go for a brick or an ore.
There you go.
So yeah. So then here, let's get.
So yeah, that's my favorite thing to say when there's
It's
a lull.
touchscreen. You can just touch the screen.
Yeah, I don't trust them.
Okay, Skippy. What does the conversation look like with you for a potential client when they say, I want to see if I qualify, but I'm really afraid I might hurt my credit?
Credit is always one of the top issues that clients tend to bring to the conversation right up front. First and foremost, if you have Credit Karma or any of the free versions, you can automatically assume that those are wrong.
11.
Somebody got
Two
double
brick,
brick.
2 brick.
Those are automatically wrong for mortgage
Thank
lending.
you.
They're a great source to monitor your credit for inquiries and late
So, like, if you
payments and stuff.
you knew you wanted to qualify for a credit card or possibly even
Yeah,
a car,
credit card
but
and-
definitely not mortgage.
Right. Like everybody's got.
I told you those 4s would bail. You can never go wrong with 4s, dude.
So then, so if you're worried about where your score is, that's a conversation we'll have up front. I
Okay.
would tell you that 9 times out of 10, those are going to be wrong. The scores are not either right high or right wrong.
Sheep for an or?
Yeah. So I would say that it's important to pull the you're going to be able to, let's say you qualify, right? So
Okay.
now we've pulled the score, we processed, and we're starting into it. You've got 90 days to be able to process everything.
Heather has longest road.
No surprise there.
So then after that, right? So your 90 days are up. Let's say you don't
Okay.
find your home. It's going to be so
2.
minimal
Oh my
of
God,
a
Skippy
pull
is cheating.
change
Cutting down those
for
trees there.
score
Okay.
that it like you're 3 to 5 points. Like, so it's not going to be, oh, you pulled my credit and it dropped 20 because we didn't find the home in 90 days and now we had to re-pull.
Okay.
It's good for 90 days because those are the guidelines that federal.
Allow people to get qualified, start shopping for a
And get
home,
into
get
a
under
home.
contract and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Bricks.
essentially, like, when I get a buyer that comes to me
Yeah.
to add on to this, and they're like, hey, you know what, I really want to start looking, I don't understand the process, but I'm like super excited.
Yep.
Can you show me a couple homes before I go get pre-qualified? I mean, obviously we'll work with anybody and we kind of like explain the process, but the biggest thing that I say to them is
not a good
don't
idea.
I say don't be intimidated about getting qualified and taking a look at what you're capable of. One, because you don't know the amounts you can shop up to.
Oh.
And two, as you're saying right here, going and getting qualified for this is not going to ding people in the way that they expect it to.
And
So
if you don't process that loan, somewhere down the line you end up getting those points back because you didn't actually open
Never
new credit. So the inquiry falls
ah,
off.
that's good to know.
So yeah, I mean, if you go out there, the whole purpose of allowing you to shop your interest rate and shop your lender, you've got 15 days to be able to go out there, take an inquiry from me or another lender, and then if you decide you want to make sure that that's the right person or mortgage
God,
lender
get outta
for
here.
you can go out and shop that with someone else. Like, I don't even need a full credit app from somebody that's already been approve
pull off
somewhere
that one?
else,
Okay.
I can use their loan estimate.
So if it
to
ends up
determine.
being that they talk to you and a couple others, it's not multiple hard pulls. It's one big pull that
Because
comes
you're
at
within
end.
the same time frame. You're going to
Okay.
see some score change, not massive points, not lots of points.
Okay.
So you're going to be able to go in and verify that that is the right deal for you.
Yeah.
And that's
So
the
now,
intent.
to end that question with one additional to add on to that. So say you've talked about the 90 days, that it's
6.
pretty much a like a soft pull at the end of the 90 days if they don't do anything. So say they do close on it, they open up that line of credit. It is one hard pull for all of the searches that they do,
No,
correct?
so even at the end, 90 days is 90 days. We have to go for a full inquiry again. So, and that falls for any lender that's out there.
Okay.
If you don't shop and close your loan in that 90-day time period, that lender will be required to re-pull
shop
credit.
again.
Yeah.
And that's to verify no open new debts, it's
Yep.
no salary change, no credit change and stuff like that, except for what you've done.
Yeah.
But what I mean is like, say in those 90 days, you approved them, they got a
Thanks.
home loan, or they got approved for a home loan,
Yep.
we found them a home, and then they closed.
Yep.
So when they close, they've now opened a new line of credit. So that will be a hard pull on their credit, but that's natural because they
But-
just opened up a
Yeah,
purchase.
so the inquiry already implies that they're going to be getting a home.
Okay.
So there will be score change after the debt is added because your debt ratio changes.
Okay.
So it's no longer
So it's
about
not based
an
off
inquiry.
running it, it's actually based off what
now-
you've done with it.
Now you're going to be like, did you add $300,000 to your debt ratio? So it is no longer about an inquiry, like point reduction. It's now about the debt.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Now what are you going to do with those sixes over there?
Oh, stacking sheep, taking them to slaughter.
60. Sixes are hot. They're hot. Right
I
now.
know, and I'm not on a single one.
You know, in a lot of our games lately, the sixes have been terrible. It's in
Yeah.
like 8s,
Yeah.
5s, and 4s.
And
dude.
tens.
Yeah.
It was.
So one of the questions I wanted to bring up, if you guys don't mind if I fire one off.
Before you do, anybody
yeah.
got a wheat?
Sure.
No.
No. I said sure your question, no, but not to your weed.
What's your question?
No. So I was gonna go into the next question. Kind of a question to you guys. What do you guys, in your respective industries as a lender and a real estate agent, what have you seen as maybe your biggest challenge getting started, or your biggest hardship, or whatever you faced so far?
I'm going to let you take this one since I'm going to take my turn. Can I have
So-
a wood?
I spent 25 years in the automotive industry to turn around and come into lending. And as you indicated earlier, the biggest part of your job is your relationship building and networking. That to me was the biggest thing to get in. I mean, we knew each other, but we didn't know each other to do business with.
Yeah.
Now, not only do you have to trust me to earn your paycheck to get to the closing table, but your client we need to get to the
Has to trust
closing
you too,
table.
yeah.
So there's
Have
a
a what?
lot of trust point that I'm going to do or have the right support to be able to get us all the way there. So when there's troublesome lending debacles that happen, because not every transaction is smooth, but the ones that are the headache, you have to know that you're going to have the guy that's going
Yep.
to answer the phone, not skirt the
Know
issue,
the answers and not being
chasing-
afraid to ask them.
Because it all happens. We all got to figure out how to make it work and how to get to the end. Make everybody in the scenario happy.
Sure.
So, yeah.
So like, but as a hardship, what have you faced? Like,
So-
can you give an example of?
6 months. First 6 months in the industry, I had one home sale.
Okay.
So getting to a point where I knew that I had enough income stashed away to be able to make it through.
To develop those
be able to-
relationships, get
yeah.
that experience.
So
And
for you, it's kind of
Yeah.
For you, it's kind of like overcoming the frustration, a little bit of a slow start,
Sure.
and trying to get your feet set. Like, well, maybe like a lot of people might think it's kind of easy to jump right into and get started.
these sixes.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part for me too. So when we very first start, A lot of people know that we have some typical fees, joining the MLS, getting licensed, getting our E&O insurance. You got to find your right niche for marketing on social media.
Yep.
You've got to join some networking groups. You've got to constantly be out socializing. You're pushing yourself with business cards, real estate signs, sponsoring things, getting involved with community events and stuff like that. Meanwhile, you've got no income generated. Yeah. And if you're a dual agent like me, we pay MLS fees to both Arizona and to North Dakota. We also have brokerage fees and stuff like that. So we've got a lot of expenses that are going out while we're busy creating those relationships and also showing our clients that we've got that experience, which we're brand new at doing, So every training you can get, every broker that will give you their ear, every experienced agent that will allow you to kind of piggyback off what they got going on. So you have 6 months of minimum hustle when you first get into the business of you got to put your head down and just grind while you're creating that.
And I'm sure, just like you guys, I had a really good support staff once I got to that 6 month period.
Yep, it's unbelievable.
Constant backing of what do we need to do? How do we get there?
Sixes are getting out of control. I'm gonna start calling cheats in a minute.
That one did bounce off my thumb.
It did.
But you're right. Once you put all of that hard work
into it, whatever. I get 3 sheep, I'll look past it.
Yeah, I mean, once you have a good support system, it allows you to feel a little bit more relaxed, I think, to be able to do.
I feel like in my first 6 months of real estate, I went through some of my hardest transactions. Whether it was like a well on a property in city limits that maybe the appraiser didn't agree was the highest and best use for it, or a seller that was selling to buy, so I had to deal with 72-hour contingencies and know how to pay attention to writing them perfectly so that my seller or my buyer didn't get in trouble on the one he was purchasing, also while being allowed to sell the other ones. I feel like I got hit with everything right in the beginning, which gave me some serious solid experience. But also it gave me my pipeline of people like, hey, I'm not 100% confident about what this is. Can I turn to you? And that's why I love being at RE/MAX so much, because I feel like at both Arizona and North Dakota, at the drop of the hat, I can call and I'll get a broker on the phone and I get attention like that I need. Can I have a hay and a week?
I think what you touched on too is kind of like going back to what you said, Skippy, is that whole experience and that trust factor. And I totally can empathize with you on that, because for sure there's a lot of not only do you have to earn the client's trust, you have to earn the realtor's trust. And as much as I hate to say it, a veteran real estate agent undoubtedly at some point in their career has had a loan fall through or a deal fall through because of a loan issue. And it's not to say
appraisal is short.
It's not saying it's the lender.
Unfortunately,
or title or whatever. Come on,
just like agents, not all lenders are created equally or equal in that how they do business. Right. And I think real estate agents as a result are a little wary about who they trust their clients with. So
I could use a brick. Sorry.
I could see where that'd be kind of a difficult,
brick.
That's a barrier you have to break.
No, I would like to trade a brick.
I thought you said you could.
I'll give a wood for a brick.
I don't have that.
You want what?
I'll give a wood for a brick.
She's looking for brick.
Yeah, you and your longest road can just call them down there.
I'll remember that.
Do you have a wheat?
I do not. Not that I can give.
Okay. I can't give the brick that I have then.
Well, let's hop on. Oh, what do we got? You want to hop over and see what the next...
how much do you charge and how do you get paid? Buyer, seller, agent. So one of you can take one of each.
Okay. I'm done with my role, so I'm going to let Ryan take this and I will answer this. How much do we charge? That's the loaded question. There's realtors out there that say they got their percentage that they have. And obviously we all try to be a 6% agent. When I say a 6% agent, I mean, I'm working my butt. I'm bringing everything, all my knowledge and everything like that to the table not like I wouldn't on any deal. But we typically are around 6% for our commission. However, the one biggest thing that should be noticed when I say that is commission is 100% negotiable on both the buyer and the seller side. So when I sit down with my seller, I talk to them about their price point. I talk about what they're looking for. I show the value in my work. I show what we're capable of doing. And then we negotiate about what's best for them and us combined together. So we decide that.
You could do cheap, or you could do good. or quality. Like,
Well, my work remains the same.
yeah, right.
I like to pride myself on that, but like
Well-
I said, it's a conversation between the buyer and
Yeah.
or the seller and the agent about what works best for them, and then negotiate. That percentage, but commission is always negotiable. Typically, the commission is paid out of seller proceeds. So the listing agent will go to the seller. They negotiate exactly. Oh, I'll take an order, please. Anna, hey, please. They negotiate exactly what that commission is going to be. So let's say I go to a seller, and I'm fortunate enough, I get a 6% listing. I mark that on the MLS. I discuss with that seller what we would like to be offering to a buyer's agent when they bring the buyer, which could be me as well, because dual agency is legal in both Arizona and North Dakota. And so say I have 6%, I'm going to offer 3% to the buyer side. And so when we have a close of escrow, the proceeds from the sale of the home are paid out. That 6% is given to the title company. The title company divides it by 3, and then both brokerages get paid, and then the broker pays me. That's how we get paid. There is an opportunity where some agents choose to have their buyers use what are you looking for?
A wheat.
What are you going to get for it?
I have plenty of ore, or a sheep, or a brick.
I would like a sheep.
Okay, sheep is yours.
Thank you. So there are some agents that choose to do buyer agencies where a buyer agrees that upon a certain situation, whether it be a lower commission on the listing side or maybe the listing side doesn't allow for any buyer's commission, that the buyer does agree that in that instance that they will pay a commission. It does happen. It really just depends on the discussion between the realtor and that buyer. Again, commission is always negotiable, 100%.
Right.
So
Yeah, and to touch on that, like, there's been instances where we've had, clients that need to sell their home to sellers, and I don't know, maybe they owed too much where they weren't going to break even, or, there's just circumstances where we would negotiate to help them out.
I want to make sure it was me.
So, like I said, an instance where maybe a seller is going to have to bring money to the table, and we work with them on the commission and stuff.
Yep.
Rick?
Yes.
Rick for wood?
Yes.
Thank you. Finally, I'm going to get to put a house down.
Oh, yeah, after the longest road. Wood and brick are part of those builds.
Brick has not been a part of that. I've been struggling with brick on this game. Ooh, I just showed you my card.
You've been struggling. How do you
Tell
put
me
your
what it
roads
was.
down?
I have.
4.
Jeez, you rolled
Oh
your
my
own.
gosh, 4s are paying
I
off.
told you, man, you got to play the 4s now.
Okay, so Skippy, next for you.
Yeah.
Broker or bank? And once you tell us why, or once you tell us which, tell us why.
All right. So, going to a bank, let's say the longtime standing is, I always go to this bank. They already have all my info. They have always taken care of my family. That's great. Banks can end up selling your loan out to the open market just the same as a broker, and more than likely it will.
So while you explain that, why don't you say what's the difference? Like, when I ask you broker and bank.
Okay, so bank is a depository place where you're going to hold your money, right? They have checking, savings, IRAs, all that. Whereas a broker is going to be an individual who just does mortgage lending on the open market to sell or find.
So you essentially work with investors to bundle money to create mortgage loans.
Move
and
the boat.
Oh, first 7 rolled.
Oh, and I got the 2.
I got very few, so. All
We're lucky there.
right. So what happens now is you automatically lose alliances.
Or this is where they're built.
Really?
We like to pick on Ryan with the.
No,
with
you
the
said
rubber.
the 6 has been pretty high.
But his 4's been hitting good.
I know.
Be careful there.
You took what I wanted
So-
you to take.
Broker has an opportunity to be able to find more lending outlets, whereas most times a bank will only have the programs that they offer in their bank.
Why is that beneficial to a buyer?
Well, there's benefits on both sides, right?
Okay.
So let's say the bank is willing to take your loan maybe your debt ratio is a little bit higher, then the requirements that the Fed provide on the style of loan, right?
Ooh, I might have a look on this.
But if you go and you use, let's say, like an FHA or USDA, a standard type of loan, they have to put those on the market anyway. So whereas
Two wood and a hay, please.
so you're competing against the same thing when it's bank or broker or those, right? Getting into a conventional or an ARM or some other version, they may actually keep the loan in-house.
Okay.
Not often, but they do. So, or they may do a short term, right? Let's help you get your credit back on track. Let's get your debt ratio down. So we're going to mortgage it for 5 years and do a balloon.
No, you rolled the 5.
That you have to,
It's your turn.
that you have to pay
You're
it
not
by
making
then,
any
right?
No.
So the tough part then, I've had those come up. 6.
Oh.
6 of
So,
blocks.
So I've had those come up where now it's like, hey, can you help me because I need to get my loan out from XYZ bank because
You're about to have a big balloon payment due or something.
like
Okay.
my mortgage is going to be due. At
And
the
so they can
end of
totally
that.
refinance with you.
Yep. So the
Okay.
tough part is then if you can't come up with a solution,
Then you owe that.
yeah, you owe the bank. And if you don't sell the home and your note is due and that's the last day of it,
Then
they
they-
can't work with you
Nah.
and they won't extend.
Now you've entered into
Up
foreclosure.
front, you were better off at that 30-year program, maybe at a slightly different rate than what they were offering or program. And it will affect how that moves forward.
Okay.
Sure.
Very interesting.
You do have different programs that brokers will have available. Sometimes some banks do if they go qualify for like down payment assistance programs, or maybe their rate of their credit authority. So like your FICO score at one lender, let's say a bank in general says we have to have 640 or higher for a credit score for your conventional loan, or 670, and I'm at 620 because I follow minimum
So you have a little bit
federal.
looser of guidelines.
I follow the minimum federal guidelines for FHA and conventional, USDA, all the above. So
Interesting.
brokers have more outlets to be able to get rid of that loan on the secondary market where it all goes together
Okay.
for one.
Very cool.
And we are literally just a processing company. So,
Okay.
all right, now to get back to it, I need, I can trade a sheep or an ore, but I need a wood.
I'll pass.
Oh, sheep, brick, ore.
You need
I'll take that, Brick.
Brick for wood. There you go. Okay, fun.
Sounds like you really need a 7.
Fan out of your cards. Fan them out.
Definitely
God.
don't need that.
You have
How many
half
cards
the-
you got in
half
that
the damn
hand?
card.
Just a few. Just a few. That doesn't.
So, while you're trying
Yeah,
to figure out how
Let's
many...
pop up to the next buyer, the realtor one.
Yeah, okay.
That's how I was going to do a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, one up there.
Let's find out what we got. There you go.
Oh, this is a nice one. Dual agency. What is it, and have you had a transaction with it?
Yeah.
I'll go. You want to do this one?
No, I'll tell you what. I'll let you start this one, then I'll just kind of
Add on to it.
Yeah.
So dual agency pretty much covers. It allows an agent to be able to represent the buyer and the seller in the same transaction, and it can. It's twofold. I can represent a buyer and a seller that's buying and selling one home. I have a fiduciary responsibility to both. I do not disclose personal information, nothing outside of the details of the loan,
you really roll another 6.
the offer, or anything without the permission from the other side. I'm literally there to offer my expertise, my information, and my market information, market expertise, I guess is what the word I'm looking for, on what they should do. I'm never there to tell them, hey, you need to do this and you need to do this. I'm simply there to help guide with my expertise on both sides to help them come together to figure out what to do. I can't be like, hey, Sally will sell her house for $360 even though we're on the market for $375, and I can't be like, hey, the buyers have been looking for 9 months and they're desperate, they got to get in a home tomorrow. They're going to pay full price. That is information that I keep private on both sides. All the way to the end of the transaction, past the transaction. But the twofold about the dual agency is it doesn't just necessarily fall for me on buyer and seller. It also falls within your brokerage. So I hang my license at Remax. Yeah. So dual agency also covers any other agent in Remax that brings a buyer to it. So when a seller does not agree to dual agency or a buyer does not agree to dual agency, they essentially do cut your own brokerage out from being able to shop.
And that's why I think you really have to describe it to people, because some people... The problem with dual agency is sometimes it's been abused in the past.
7.
Oh my god!
Uh,
I'm gonna go right after those 4s.
Woo,
Brick or wood? Brick or
Really?
wood?
Yeah.
Really? Right
Yeah.
Don't go after that brick. I'm on it.
You are not. You may not be a dual agent right now, but you're a dual pain in my butt.
I need sheep. Maybe we got sheep.
I'm definitely not trading you
Sheep.
So
Let me look. Yeah, I got a sheep for you.
I think it's one of the dual agency to me is kind of one of those tight ropes you walk, and I think a lot of people put a negative spin on it, but I really think it can be a positive thing.
The thing that got me one time I was doing an open house with you guys.
Yeah.
You mentioned it. You're like, if you'd prefer to work with my husband, and I
yeah.
work with but I mean, you can represent
one side of the party.
You can represent the
It
seller.
still is 100% dual agency because we are in the same umbrella. But
even if there's another agent like Sarah from Remax, it's going to be dual agent.
But sometimes that's what Ryan and I will do in a transaction because there'll be 2 of us, and maybe I've gotten super close with the sellers. We have a fantastic relationship. Everything is vibing, and we're going great. And then we have the buyer, and we want to offer them some extra confidence in what's going on. Then Ryan will take the buyers, and then we have to negotiate and hash it out at home. Which, by the way, you should always have me be the agent for you because I win.
You are
I don't know about it. Always.
The 2-for-1 Phil last 7 rolled over here.
Can I have a wood?
Yeah.
But like I said, I think it can be beneficial too for people. Like as long as you have an honest dual agent. Yeah. They can. There's a lot of times things get lost in translation in a deal between agents. And when you have a dual agent, you kind of clean up a lot of that. That obviously there's only one agent working it, so there's nothing really lost in communication. Mm-hmm. It's easier to facilitate things.
Just be very strict or very direct on what you want. If you don't want if you receive multiple offers and one of them is dual agent and you don't want your agent to disclose any of the finances, speak that. Sorry. Anything you don't want disclosed.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay. Now we're being dramatic. Can we go back to being normal?
We don't have any dual target second strike. Well, he's 5. Oh man.
So essentially, dual agency is legal in Arizona and North Dakota.
Coming at me with that sheep.
Can I repeat myself now?
I'm sorry. What did you say?
Dual agency is legal in North Dakota and Arizona, and Ryan and I have handled many transactions with dual agency.
Now, which one do you think I want him to take?
Please point it out somehow. I don't know how this would work, but please do it. Dun, 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 dun. Damn
That's not it.
Anybody have a sheep?
Yep.
Or a hay?
Yep.
Nope. Hold on. He's at 8 points.
What do you
just
want?
so you know, he's at 8 points.
Well.
You're at 7. You're no better.
But yeah, no.
You don't want that word back?
No, I'm good. Now that I know how much you have.
No, I don't want your order. You can order yourself. Make your move and let's go. Okay, so that answers that. I think it's pretty clear and direct. We support dual agency. We understand it's a thin line.
I did want to say too.
Well, let me grab a mine.
Sorry.
It's a thin line to walk. We know it is. We make sure that we fulfill our ethical and fiduciary responsibility to both the buyer and seller, and try to get the transaction to close as successful as possible. What are you gonna add?
I just like you were saying earlier, if it's something you're not comfortable with, even after it's been explained to you, don't be afraid to speak up and let your agent know. Some people just literally want only one agent working for them, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just understand that maybe you don't want them not to be able to work with another agent in a brokerage. Like, you'll cut off a lot of your buyers. But if you really just want your agent to work for you, there's nothing wrong with
No,
that.
there's always the option. That's why we disclose.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh. 9? I'll take 2 sheep, please.
9.
There you go.
Okay, I need a hay.
Oh, hey.
Roll some 12s.
I don't have any
11s,
hay.
5s, 3s. Got those.
No hay.
Okay.
Do you have... No, I need a hay.
Oh,
Okay, here you go. Okay, Skippy.
Yeah.
Oh, this is nice. Okay, so this will complement your last question, broker and bank. You're talking about secondary market and why. I'll take a hay, please. Okay, your question. What does it mean when your mortgage gets sold on the secondary market, and why is this a thing that people should not be afraid of?
So why do they get sold on the secondary market? They usually get paired together.
3 for a hay.
Certain investors will be looking to maintain certain packages of loans. Doesn't mean it can be from anybody and everybody. Like, collectively, they go on the open market and try and find them. Why? It doesn't matter who you write your check to. They can't change the program. Your payment's always going to be the same if you have a fixed interest rate. Your PMI is going to stay the same. The only tangible items that can change, of course, are taxes or insurance.
So your escrows, pretty much.
Yeah. So if your insurance company changes it, shop. Go take a look. I mean, it's always a great idea to make sure.
That's true. Yeah.
To check your insurance. And who knows? Different things happen in the household. So when you get down to that, if you've finished a basement or had an update on an appraisal, if you did a refi, also make sure that the value of your home, the replacement and stuff, is all up to date, because the cost of lumber today
Right.
huge.
Yeah.
So
At least today it's better than it was in 2020. I'll tell you that.
6 has been rolled.
yeah, you kind of jam me up.
Brian
on
likes to be extra obnoxious during this game.
Only when I got my 6s and Skippy doesn't get his. Troll level.
Who invited him?
Yeah, you brought them. There you go.
Oh Lord.
So yeah, it doesn't matter who's on the name on the
Oh,
mortgage.
thank heaven.
You got 30 years.
Can I
We
have 2 brick?
got an 11.
Okay.
Oh, thank
Can we have 2 brick?
heaven.
30 years, 15 years, whatever's left. Just write the checks and
Pay your
it is what it
mortgage.
is. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna take my turn, and then I'm gonna, once you ask that last question. Oh, first off, hold on. I need a wood. Who's got a wood?
Depends. Are you going to be up to no good?
Do you have any wood?
No, I don't.
Do you have any wood?
Ooh.
So this is a good question because
Yep, I like this one.
when is the right time to buy?
This is my favorite question, and I feel like it's the most controversial out there, because I really do see a lot of realtors will always say, now's the time to buy, now's the time to buy, now's the time to
10
buy.
years ago it would have been good too.
And honestly,
I mean, if you were able to 10 years ago, that was the best
If I
time
could
to
have
buy.
honestly,
Get a
truly,
Real
DeLorean.
quick, because you said 10 years ago I'm buying. I remember when we were in San Diego, we were looking at houses in 2012. Do you remember this? Mm-hmm. There was a house, like it was like 2,000 square foot, 4-bed, 3-bath, with a pool for like $450,000.
Oh yeah, that's what.
That same house
Close to
now
what
would
he's
probably be
failing
like
to
$2
tell you
million.
is
Yeah,
it needs to be
exactly.
fixed up a little bit.
Yeah,
but
still.
It was
So
450,000.
let's get back to the question at hand.
Yeah.
When is a good
When's
time
the
to,
right
buy?
time to buy?
In my opinion, truthfully, the right time to buy is when it's right for you. I mean, what do you got lined up? Are you taking a new job? Are you moving to an area? Are you expanding your family? Do you have considerable amount of equity in your home and you're expanding your family, or you want an extra bedroom, or you like to entertain and you have a living room that's not doing it for you
Yeah.
right now? Your backyard is not making you happy. Maybe you like cows and you want to move to a little bit out of the country and have a little bit of cows and chickens and stuff like that.
Come on.
Everybody's got a different goal set in mind of what they're trying to do, and really, obviously, it's smart to watch the market and start to know what's going on, and whether it's buyers or sellers or what's doing. But truthfully, if everybody was following exactly what the market was doing and waiting for that crash to buy, that has been 15 years coming. That means you have a 15-year-old at home if you were waiting for that market to crash before you bought again.
And you have half of the original mortgage.
Sure. And so right now we're seeing all these competing offers that are out there because, people are doing what's best for them. They're understanding that it's the time to buy because it works best for them. So again, when you hear your realtor say it's the best time to buy,
The other side
that only
is,
works if it's the best time for you to buy.
also, is it the best time to sell? Is it
Well-
the best time to buy your next place? So, like, sometimes it comes down to the necessity of need for that
Sure.
new place or the
Right.
new job. But the other side is, like, if you're sitting there like, oh man, what can I get for my home? I'm going to be able to, like, cash out huge. But what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? What are you going to buy that
Did you
you're gonna
develop
be
that
happy
equity
with?
from that home that you can take
Yeah.
out your down payment and then also have an
Towards the
increase?
next.
I mean, I think we see an average expectancy of 7% of equity, natural
Oh, yeah.
equity in a home every year.
Average.
Right now,
Yeah.
it's crazy and it's twice that, if
Yeah.
not even triple that, especially in
Yeah.
Arizona, which is wild and it's a very
Especially
good
in
thing to
Depends on
see.
the market, right?
Yep.
Could be
But-
5, could be 20.
Yeah,
You know?
and so while we're seeing some of these sellers that are able to sell with like 30% equity that they bought in a home 2 years ago, they're also paying that when they're getting in. So if
So-
the math works, then yes, it's time for you to sell or buy.
The other side is you could get in today, the market, let's just hypothetically, could crash, right? Mm-hmm. What does that mean if you don't need to sell your home now
Nothing.
or in the next 5
That equity
years?
will build
It's
right
like
back
anything
up.
else.
Right.
You
Yep.
just hold. Yeah.
The
Yeah,
equity
you
will build
hold.
Look
right
at the
back
other
up.
side, and I had this on one of my videos a couple months ago, affordability and what we're losing, right?
Yeah.
The other side to that is if you're telling me that homes will value or moderately value at 5% or more per year as a long term, what does it matter if your rate is 5 or 6%?
Sure.
You're almost awash at a 5% rate. Let's say you're at 6. Now that means you're paying 1% a year to live in that home.
Which
On
is
the
nothing
low level.
because you're owning it.
Right.
Yep.
On the low end, you're going to
And
still
your rent
be...
control, you're rent
Yep.
controlled because you're in your
Right.
mortgage.
Yeah.
You're never
The only
gonna-
thing that could possibly go up is your escrows, your
Right.
mortgage and your
Insurance,
and
right.
you can shop for insurance,
Right.
So again, I mean, obviously, it's smart to pay attention. It's smart to have a
Yep.
realtor and a lender that understands the complete market. They know the percentage of the average equity that's coming in. They know how many people are moving into the area. They know how many new builds are coming. Like they're going to have those statistics for you, and they are important. But truthfully, the right answer to that question is when is the good time to buy? Is when it
When it
makes sense for you.
Makes the most sense for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not because I mean, unless you're like me and that cute house down the street can be available,
On that note, I'd like to declare my 10th point.
Yeah, we really weren't worried about it. We were going to talk a little bit more about
Show the camera how you won, because that's cheats.
So we got 9 points on the board. I stole longest road from Heather, so she was probably not too happy about that. And then had a hidden victory point over here.
So you had 7 on the board, 8 with your victory, and 2 with your longest road.
yeah,
Okay, Rainbow, you won the first one of Questions with Catan.
questions over cons. So I think we covered a lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
I
we
had a
had-
lot of fun doing this.
With some fantastic points.
Hopefully
some
this
great
brought some
conversation.
value to you guys. You guys were able to learn some things and at
The
least
other
have
side-
fun playing Catan with us.
You know,
tonight.
like we came up with some of the ideas of the questions that are on our minds
Yeah.
or we typically get. But you guys should definitely comment or private message and let us
And then we
know.
could do the fishbowl idea with
Yeah,
all of their
right.
stuff. Where we
Yep,
pull
if you
them
got
out
any
and-
questions at all, or if you want to see yours brought onto this, because this is something that we're going to start doing regularly. So as regular as we possibly can. So if you got them, send them, DM.
And we'll be working on virtual ways to do it too, as we're going to be on opposite ends of the country soon again. but-
DM.
we could even do like a
put 'em on the-
12-hour like marathon, just do Monopoly.
No, I will never play Monopoly with you. I know better. I know
No,
how
I
this
want
goes.
to. Yeah.
But on that note, if you didn't take anything special to real estate away from this, at least I hope you took the desire to learn the game Catan. And if you already know it, I
And
hope you
see-
took the urge to go beat somebody in Catan
And
yourself.
see me win the inaugural questions over Catan,
the
baby.
first game.
The
Just the first
inaugural
game.
one. You can never take it from
Your
us.
your winning streak is in jeopardy.
Well,
So on that note, we appreciate you guys taking the time to watch our videos. As we mentioned, if there's anything you want to know, whether it's the home down the street that maybe you want us to take you to go look at, the loan that you're looking for, maybe a refinance to get that perfect interest
Second
rate,
look on
or
somebody else's loan
Yep.
that you want to make sure you're getting the right deal.
Yeah. Again, we are in North Dakota and Arizona. Skippy's
Yeah.
got about 10 states if you want to
Yeah.
say them all
It'll be
again.
8. It'll be 8.
These guys are gonna be doing loans on the moon pretty soon.
The metaverse.
And you can find us at
Joke, it's here.
VollSquared.com. We're all over Facebook and Instagram.
So what's your Facebook?
So,
Plug
well, it's just VollSquared on Facebook. You can Google
Website,
us.
our
Yeah.
website.
So you can
Yeah,
Google
yeah.
us at VollSquared.com. You'll see our Google, our Facebook, Instagram, and social media. We have a YouTube channel.
Don't
But,
forget about TikTok.
Yeah. How about you, Skippy?
that. I've got Facebook. It'd be Greg Skippy Cottrell, Mortgage Lending.
Okay.
I got Instagram, closing with Skippy _com.
Does somebody else have a closing with Skippy? You had to add the underscore?
Well, no, I had wanted that so that maybe you could use the page because they wouldn't allow you to use closingwithskippy.com, so I had to figure out another way and incognito got the
that makes
underscore.
sense.
So yeah, then I shoot out some reels once in a while on Instagram through
Yeah.
that. So
These two are interesting on the social medias, but yeah.
I mean, I'm not like lip syncing or anything, but
We've had some good dance talks though. When we do the open house.
Then we did the
And
St. Patty's Day.
He was
Well,
the
no,
famous
the-
leprechaun.
This is what they do when I
too.
leave
Yeah,
them
that-
alone.
He was the famous
Leprechaun.
leprechaun. What else?
Yeah.
then we did the what's
Easter Bunny
cooking up
and-
for your open house.
Yeah. Blacktail bloopers. Dude.
Yeah, right.
That was a good one. I remember you were just looking at me the whole time like, what the heck is wrong with this guy?
Well, on that note, thanks for joining us. We hope, like I said, either we entertained you with our real estate facts and lending information, which we will be bringing back to you, or maybe you got a laugh at us playing this competitive game of Catan. If you need anything else, just reach out to us. Anything
Absolutely.
else?
No, I'm sure the information will be located right here.
Right down here?
I'm gonna put it right here in the desert. Call Skippy Control right here in the desert.
We can fix that. Here you go.
Yeah, right.
Here's our Arizona real estate right here. The market's hot.
little
Awesome.
coasters created. Little
Oh,
shout
yeah,
out
my
to
bad, I didn't-
Krishna as well.
That's what we'll do.
Yeah.
Well,
Next-
thanks, guys. We appreciate you watching. If you need anything,
Thank you,
feel
guys.
free to reach out. We're always here. Have a good
Cool. See
night.
ya.
Bye.
Bye.